Welcome to Five Zabs, first episode. I'm Evan, this is Lance, and here's our ranking system.
This will be up throughout the episode, and then we also have another video that just goes through the ranking system if you want to look at it more. And then we'll do different categories. So instead of just new movies, we'll be doing limited series, regular series, documentaries, throwbacks.
Yeah.
So all across the board.
Absolutely. So let's get started off with our series, Archive 81. And break it down real quick. It's about a dude restoring old footage. And things get a little crazy. In my opinion, it's a great story. Directing was good. Flawless, pretty good acting. And a lot of actors you've never seen before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, it's good. It's I think that the way they tell it, it's like, okay, you're interested. I like the actress, I like the actor. Can't remember their names. But they're good. I haven't seen them in other stuff before. I like both of them. So I thought, yeah, overall for me, and I'm usually not into that kind of movie. So, it's a little drama, but it's a little horror, I don't know, a little spooky. So usually not my jam, but I actually, it was good. It's kept me, I'm interested to see what else happens.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there'll probably be a season 2.
Right?
With how they left the cliffhanger.
Well, probably, yeah.
They definitely left a cliffhanger. Let's just go with it.
Well, we all know it, right?
We all know it. I enjoyed it though. I really did.
It made me think of too how, aside from the series, how like 100 years ago people were doing weird the under the basement, the seance stuff, the books from another country, that stuff was rampant, and I thought it was a good reminder. I'm like, man, that wasn't that long ago, but it seems odd to see it, to think about it today. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, for real. And seeing that, I never knew that it was a real job that people restore old footage either.
Right?
Never. Yeah. I honestly have never heard of that before, so that was cool.
Well,
a different take on a story.
That's got to be interesting.
Yeah.
Boring.
What
the hell?
And then you're just watching old footage, going through their life. And
you might convict a criminal, and you might free somebody with what you pull off of video. So,
wow.
And now that's all. Like that, even those days are over, right? There's not like tape to go do that with now.
Yeah, so there's no tapes and stuff to go. And I mean, we don't probably have devices anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure they're saying smartphone, right? Like there's people that can go get what you didn't think could be.
Yeah, that's a good point. So
ranking wise though, so what do you give it?
Ranking wise, I give it a 4. 4 Zabs. Okay. What would you give it?
I'm 4 Zabs also. It's really good. And it's quality entertainment, so 4 Zabs for me too.
Yeah, 4 Zabs.
Nice.
For sure, cool. So let's get into the next one. Times Square Killer, limited series. Break it down for me real quick. I actually like the first episode when they tell you a little bit of facts about New York and this and that, and about sex was booming and how it was selling and how they slowly progressed and how they sold it, and then prostitution just hit this high level, and then I just really enjoyed that part. Just
the risks that come with that, and the risks,
like
how a sex worker was, right? So in the 50s, no one had sex. Babies came from storks. Nobody, don't talk about it, right? And then all of a sudden, as that all sweeps through, it's the sex workers to blame for all of it, right? And this exposes that when that's not true. But when you look back at history and how they treated them,
and it shows
still going on.
Yeah, my bad. And it shows you that that if you said anything as a prostitute, you would get in trouble because you're a prostitute.
Oh yeah, this guy beat me, man. Are you clinker? I mean, it was so just, and that allowed. For this type of stuff to happen. Nobody even cared. Dude, for me, I like the story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Times Square Killer, Torso Killer, whatever. It's an interesting, and I like documentaries like that. I like the all that kind of crime scene drama, right?
Yeah.
So it's good. The story's good. But I do think this, for me, is an example of the documentaries where it shouldn't have been that long.
They overdid it for
stretching
sure.
it out. They stretched it out way too long. And then they try and create, excitement or a payoff where there isn't one.
Yeah.
Right? Like the story alone it's crazy. And so just tell it. But instead they do when he said we had a break in the case. It's not a break in the case. The guy's standing there with like handcuffs and garbage sacks and like blood. It's not. So don't do that. Like, oh man, and then this, they're teeing it up for something to happen, and what happened is the guy made a mistake. And then when you start looking at all the facts, he did make a mistake. Shit was flying around the whole time. They should have got him so much earlier.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'll say on that is I understand that they didn't have their computers hooked.
Yeah.
Like in a database. But dude, back to that point of how much they just did not care.
Yeah.
At all.
They did not care.
They did not care. They couldn't pick up the phone to New Jersey or vice versa and be like, hey, you got a guy doing this, and this.
Yeah.
One phone call.
Yeah.
They still had a phone and vehicles to do that. And so they kept kind of pushing that off and outside looking in, horrible.
Honestly, I feel like back in the 70s, like people weren't talking that much. Like you can get away with more stuff. Like there wasn't much camera footage of things you could record off the street.
Agreed. But wouldn't that mean that you talk?
They should talk more, but they don't.
But I'm pretty sure New Jersey and New York police departments knew each other.
But police that's why I get my conspiracy bag, because police are with the government, and government is all shady. So police are gonna be shady. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I'm saying it.
Yeah. No. But at the same time, I wouldn't say I agree with that. But in this instance, I wouldn't say it was shady.
Yeah.
They didn't care because it was a sex worker.
That's true.
Oh, so who cares?
They didn't care.
Their thought of that was this horrible person.
Yeah.
It was so off on base that it allowed for this guy to just keep doing something. But they never took responsibility for that in the documentary. No one ever said, yeah, we didn't give a shit.
No.
No one ever said that. And so, anyway, with all that said.
Right. So, what would you give your overall ranking review on? What's your rank?
Somehow, I'm still saying it's a 3. It is better than searching. Even with everything I just said, it's still better than looking for something new. So, I give it a 3.
And you just said it. So, by definition, it's a 3 Zab. Like, you have to, I would recommend it. Better than searching. Wouldn't recommend it, but it's better than searching.
Yeah, if you're at that point, like we all are, of searching and arguing, instead of watching and enjoying.
Exactly.
If you're at that spot then it's better.
Yes.
But it's a good example of how to make it worse and to make it longer than it needs. All the things we talked about. So great. So the next one, 6'9", the Saga of Danny Hernandez. So overview. It's Tekashi 6'9". It's a documentary, and for folks my age, you might not know who he is, but you do. You've probably seen pictures of him. You
definitely know who he is.
And if you don't, it doesn't. The story itself, the story is amazing. It surprised me. I thought I knew some. I didn't know near as much as I thought I did. It was twice as crazy, 5 times as crazy as I thought it was.
Yeah.
So the story itself is great. I thought the story was fantastic.
Yeah, I would agree with most of that for sure. A lot of it I already knew just because I followed this dude as soon as he came in, wondering what was going on.
Yeah.
But I mean, we all knew he was entertaining for a reason. He would say outlandish things. Wear outlandish clothes, and then what this documentary really shows is that he's been doing that basically since he was a teenager. Like, so that's just how he's been, and marketing came with that for him. He had a little skill at that. So I mean, overall how they told the story of the documentary, I really enjoyed that. The dude did a great job. Whoever directed it and made that film, he did a great job. Don't know his name. Gotta shout him out. Shout him out up here.
I forgot to put it. The way it was told made it better. I thought he did a great job on, again, the other example of the last one. A way to take a documentary and, man, the way he kept things till the end, even though you've been talking to people, You know, and it wasn't the BS, like, let's just stretch it out.
Well, it's told so unbiased, too.
Yeah, and then the right order. Yeah, unbiased, right order. And then, unbiased, yeah, it's fair. It's just, this is what, I felt like this is what happened. You decide what you want to think about this person versus here's who he is, and I'm just going to show him that way.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, this is what I'll tell you. This is what I would tell everyone, probably more my age than your age, but watch it. It has nothing, don't worry about if you listen to SoundCloud rap, hate it, don't even know what it is. Exactly. Don't worry about all that. It's an insight into an amazing story about a person, and it also shows you about social media. It's one thing to say social media does this, and this, but it's another to see it. And this shows you a real life story of social media and the good, the bad, the indifferent, and how that works. So for me, that is outside of the series or the documentary itself. That social media insight was worth it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It shows you what can happen,
and how it happens,
and how it happens,
and how this one did happen.
Exactly.
To the other country, But again, so with that, what's your ranking for 6ix9ine?
Man, I want to give it a 5, but it's a 4 for me. But it's, for most people, it's most likely a 5. I feel like, but I haven't talked to nobody about it. So
right,
highly recommend it. It's a 4, really good.
It touches a 5 for me, heavy, but I'm gonna go 4 as well. It is really good. It's quality, and it. Again, this one to me for everyone is that don't worry about what it's about. It's about a person.
Yeah.
It's about a community. It's about where someone came from, and not whether you like him or his music. It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter at all. Great example of that. No. But yeah, solid 4. Solid 4. All right, the next one we're gonna go through is the new movie. It's not that new. Don't Look Up. I think everyone has seen it. So let's not spend too much time on that. But overall, comet's going to hit the Earth, right? 2 people figure it out, and then they just go over, present day to day, how that, nobody believes them, whatever. Everybody knows. So what did you think about it?
I felt like it was going to be a really good movie when it started. I loved where it was going, but I just hated when it just changed stories on me. Honestly, I loved where it was going. I loved how Leonardo DiCaprio played his part. It went way too industry for me. Just way too by what everything's going on right now. And they're trying to make their points on things, and it was just too much. So.
Yeah. So for me, this is the definition of it's. It starts as a 2 industry, and then it tries to be a 1.
Honestly, quick ranking. What would you get it? Because there's not much to say.
It's a 2. It's an industry to the core. Industry. It's exactly what you thought it was, and it's not that good. Again, not to bag on it, but it's out there. I will say though, one of the reasons we included this one was because it's a great example of why we've put together 5 Zabs, and that's because I think this thing was number 1 for months.
Yeah.
We all knew it was bad, but every night we're going in, we're looking for whatever's new, and we're so dry on quality and finding quality that we'll take whatever just pops up. Literally. And it'll be number 1 while it's getting shit on.
Literally.
And that's why, that sums up in a nutshell. It's why we put it on here. It's a perfect example of a 2 and a perfect example of why we need 5 Zabs.
Exactly. And so I've already said basically mine, industry 2 by definition. So let's cap it off with the throwback movie. It was one that I've never seen before. Dad has seen it. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, honestly, because I'm sure it's a classic. It has prominent actors, Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt, and then that lady, I can't remember her name, but she's
Gwyneth Paltrow.
There we go.
She's who you've got to know her as what? Tony Stark's assistant.
I know her. Yes, literally Iron Man. Literally.
Oh, we're getting old, everybody.
But no, I love this movie.
So it's a buddy. It's an old cop, new cop.
Yes, to break it down.
Murder mystery, and again, a lot of folks have seen it. But for everyone, it's a cop. It's about 2 cops who are trying to solve a case where he is killing people based on Oh, now I'm totally
he's basically
envy and all that.
Exactly.
Shit. Yeah, the seven deadly sins.
Exactly,
My
seven
God.
deadly
All right.
sins.
So
Hence the name Seven.
yeah, exactly.
But no. So breakdown for me, real quick on it. Both actors killed their roles. The main actors, obviously, Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. Which I expected. There's really no movies that I could say they've done that is bad. You know what I mean? Or
yeah, but this one's better.
It's better. It's probably one of the best I've seen them do personally.
Yeah, they're always good, but at the same time, it reminded me. It was really good when it came out. I mean, it like won Oscars, whatever.
Yeah.
But better even now.
Yeah.
Not only did it, a lot of times, right, when we watch something old, I'm bummed because I'm like, oh man, that's not how I remembered it at all.
Oh.
This one was the opposite of that, where I was like, dude, I remember this was really good, and instead it's holy crap. It was so good.
Definitely stood the test of time.
Yeah, Beyond actually got better.
And most old movies, or not most, but I used to feel like most of them did not stand the test of time when it came to old movies. But we're gonna go through that and
yeah, this is a good one to start with because it gives us right.
This is a great start. Let me say that. I loved the story, loved the acting, loved how raw it was, and how the story was, I could see detectives having to go through that at the end of the day. Maybe not how it ended, of course, but like just dealing with a crazy serial killer that you have to track his patterns.
Well, you can't stop. Yeah, there's that. Like, you can't stop him.
Yes.
And you know he's going to hit again.
He's going to hit again.
But then at the
he's
same
leaving
time, he's
you.
got like, hey, can you pick up milk?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Dude, crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. Good. And I will say, we don't use those words anymore. Like the gluttony, sloth, wrath.
Yes.
There's something I was thinking about. I was like, man, nobody says any of that anymore.
It's a very high educated.
Yeah, and it's different. And then, aside from the movie, I was like, man, nobody says that anymore.
Right.
I haven't heard somebody use the word sloth or wrath since whatever year it came out, 95. Right. Like, that's the last time I heard. It's just. But that used to be. These are the 7 deadly sins of humans.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about really any of them anymore. It's like, okay, I guess they're not. Maybe that changed. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so overall, what would you give it on our first throwback?
Overall, I gotta give it a 5 Zabs. First throwback, killer.
Yeah.
Killer throwback. So 5 Zabs for me. It was fantastic. I loved the story. It caught me off guard how it ended. Maybe it was the first time, because it was the first time I had seen it, that it just hit me a different way. So I'm just giving it an overreaction view. But honestly, I loved how it was. So 5 Zabs for me, period.
Yeah, and if anybody hasn't seen it,
and if you
haven't seen it, you have to watch it.
Especially people my age.
It's beyond it's better than searching. It's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
And if you tell someone to watch it, I would check if they hadn't seen it. I'd be like, really? So I give it a 5 also. So I think it was a perfect throwback for us to start with because we're going to run into a lot of non-5s. So our goal is 5s. That is our number one goal.
Yes.
Is we are looking for 4s and 5s. But I'm glad that the first one was a 5. That'll push us through. I think. Awesome. So each episode we're also going to do an underrated. So what's an underrated series? Type of series or movie that it's kind of recent, last couple years, let's say, but just doesn't seem to be getting the love that we'd all have anticipated. So why don't you go first? What's your underrated pick of the episode?
I'm going with one of my faves. Raised by Wolves. It's a sci-fi-ish a little bit. Not really a sci-fi guy personally, but if you just like a well-told, like you just need a series to knock out, good one season. Yeah, really good. Loved it.
5 Zabs?
5 Zabs.
Okay.
For sure.
My underrated pick of the episode, also I'll give it 5 Zabs, is Ragnarok. It's a story about Thor and Loki, who, just a quick reminder, that was, that's not just Marvel, right? That story goes back 1,000 years. It's just a different way to tell it. It is Norwegian, so don't worry about all that. If you're not even into Thor, don't worry about all that. It's just really, really good. It's so well done on all the things we talk about. So I don't hear enough people saying they've seen it. I think everyone should see it. It's that good, and you'll want to see more. So for me, my pick is Ragnarok.
For sure. All right, and let's cap it off with an all-time 5 Zabs. All-time 5 Zabs for us. What would you give for you?
All-time 5 Zabs, Walk the Line. In fact, we should do an episode where we just do music movies, because some are 5s and some aren't. But to me, it's the whole kit and caboodle. It's the story, it's the actors. When I think of Johnny Cash, I think I actually see Joaquin Phoenix instead, because I lost him in that role so much. So yeah. So for me, it's Walk the Line. What about you?
Funny. All-time 5 for me, I'm gonna give it a Law-Abiding Citizen. Law-Abiding Citizen, really good movie. Loved how great prominent actors came together, killed it. Unlike, Don't Look Up. I mean, that was a bad example of when all prominent actors come together and just kill a movie. But sorry to revert to that.
Yeah.
All-time 5, Law-Abiding Citizen.
Yeah.
Loved it.
And Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
I think he'll show up in the throwbacks and all times quite a bit because he killed so much. He could be in with Walk the Line on Ray.
Dude, for real.
Really? I mean, like everyone. Yeah.
Honestly, Jamie Foxx got his own category and Joaquin Phoenix.
Dude, for sure.
Right.
And it would be all over the place on both of them.
For sure.
It's interesting. Well, it's awesome. Well, thanks for joining us for our first episode.
Yeah, and good luck searching.
Tupatu.